Welcome into Intentional Lounging, brought to you by Better and Green. We are breaking down the Week 13 main slate. We're breaking down the Black Friday game. By the way, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. We're breaking down the Sunday games to give you guys the plays that we are on. Everybody, we said it at the end of the last video. We are donating $1 to St. Jude for every new subscriber that we get between now and Christmas. We do it every year. This is the third annual fundraiser that we've had. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave us some comments. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what we can do better. Guys, we have a loser every single week. And unfortunately, this week was Mr. Worst Bets down there. And he has volunteered to do the cider mile. Wyatt, you've done a couple videos of you running. Are you nervous about this one? This is a little different for you.
Well, I haven't done a whole lot of running lately. I'm kind of a pansy in the cold. So that's an added dynamic. It's cold out, and now I have to chug. I think we agreed on a half gallon of cider throughout a mile. So going to figure out my game plan there. But, yeah, a little nervous about it. Definitely nervous.
He will also wear apple pasties to cover his nipples and do it shirtless if we hit 1,000 subs.
Why, you just sounded so much like Jameis Winston right there. Yeah, a little nervous about it. Definitely nervous.
Guys, let's talk about the plays that we agree on first. We're going to head out to Agreement Island, the place where all of our picks can hang out and cash out. Guys, our first game we're talking about is this Black Friday game, the Kansas City Chiefs at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. Kansas City 12-point home favorites. Guys, we just saw this game back in Christmas Day, I believe it was. And that was a big blowout at Arrowhead. And then we just see this game of the Chiefs going to Carolina, squeaking it out. Last-minute field goal to get a win against one of the worst teams in the league. Okay, why are they 12-point favorites? A lot of people are on Vegas. This is the way they got them because the Chiefs aren't covering. But we're all on the Chiefs here. I didn't think I would get Ethan to pick the Chiefs. I didn't think I could get Ethan to pick the Chiefs at minus double digits. I didn't think I could get Ethan to pick the Chiefs on a holiday again. This is absolutely insane. The fact that he's on it, yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row? Like, yeah, after they lost last week? I can't believe it. This might be a 5-6 unit play now. This is absolutely unbelievable if Ethan's on him. Guys, we like him because just for that reason right there. This is a revenge game for the Chiefs. This is a game where they almost didn't win. I'm going to say it started turning very quickly in that game in Carolina, but they got it done at the end. I think that they're going to remember last year, and I just think they're so much better. The quarterback got injured. Gardner Minshew, I was blanking on his name. Gardner Minshew got injured. So now we're going to see whoever, Desmond Ridder maybe, they're going to have a hard time scoring in Kansas City. So we have the Chiefs to win, cover the 12. Really hard pill to swallow, but we're going to take it here. Ethan, why don't you break down Arizona, man?
Yeah, really quick, Ben. New public sheriff in town, so the Kansas City's back on the board for me. So
let's go.
Until Lions are off the board until further notice, unfortunately. But yeah, Arizona getting plus 3.5 here at Minnesota. We all like the Birds in this game. Minnesota off the overtime win against the Bears, where they gave up was it 11 points in the final 22 seconds of that game. Bears forced overtime. Got the ball in overtime, I believe, but could not go and score, and the Vikings got the game-winning field goal. So that one took a little bit of extra time that it probably shouldn't have. Vikings did have a scare, but really just think the Vikings are kind of living on their final life here. I just don't think they can keep it up. I just really don't. The Cardinals are off a tough loss against the Seahawks in a divisional game. They do have Seattle back on deck next week here. So it is a quick turnaround, but Arizona's fighting for that division. They're fighting to hang on. Currently second in the West. Are they behind Seattle now?
They might be. That whole division is so close.
It's super close.
They are tied with Seattle.
Tied with Seattle, but Seattle has the head-to-head tiebreaker. So they're fighting to stay alive. Every win counts here. And yeah, just don't think the Vikings can keep getting it done. Think it's could be a field goal game either way. So getting the plus 3.5, we're good either way on Arizona.
Love it. Wyatt, why don't you take Tampa Bay, man?
Yeah, I mean, this is a divisional game. It's the worst division, and it's not even close. Well, it might be close. But the NFC South is pretty damn bad. Tampa Bay is 1 game back from Atlanta at 5-6. Atlanta is 6-5. Obviously, Carolina's in the back there at 3-8. Tampa Bay only destroys these crappy teams. These are their only wins, and they're running out of games where they can get easy wins. So I think Tampa Bay really takes the advantage of this game. I think they take it to Carolina. Carolina also in a kind of a heartbreaking loss, like we just mentioned. Think the wheels are just coming off the wagon a little bit. Tampa Bay's well rested. Mike Evans back. Baker's the new Tommy DeVito there. And he just sued his family too, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay in a big win. Ugly game, low scoring, but they win it. Very similar to that Green Bay score. How about that? I was spot on. 24-3. Tampa Bay.
I love it, Wyatt. I'm going to talk about Washington now. We're all on the Washington Commanders. Though maybe the worst thing, maybe there's one thing worse than losing a bet, and that is being on the wrong end of a wave. So, right now, a team, you pick them to win, they lose. Or that you pick them to lose, they win. Then you say, okay, they're going to win this week, and then they lose. So you're always just right on the cusp of that wave. You're always just not on the right side. You're chasing. So that's what we're seeing here. Tennessee off a huge win against the Houston Texans, one that I believe we called. I believe we did. And then we also had Washington coming off a loss to the Cowboys, which I know we picked the Cowboys also. We picked the Cowboys to cover. Not outright win, but that was insane. So a lot of people might be thinking here, you know what? I'm going to take Tennessee to beat Washington now. Washington lost to a bad Dallas team. Okay, well, what about all the other games Washington's played this season? Don't get caught up in that wave. Don't get pulled out into deep water. It is Washington minus the 5.5. Don't get caught playing the results of last week. Ethan, what do you think about San Fran, man?
Yeah, San Fran, Monday Night Football, travels to Buffalo, and they're catching a full touchdown here. When was the last time we saw the Niners catching a touchdown? I do believe this is once again without Brock Purdy as quarterback. Yeah, could be wrong on that, but yeah, it's just it's a buy low spot on San Francisco, who still has a ton of talent on the team. They didn't have Bosa last week. I do believe they're getting Bosa back for this game. And then really just kind of a sell high on Buffalo, and we've said it a couple times. I mean, they're basically locked in at this point. I don't even think you can bet them to win their division anymore, like not even at minus 20,000. I think it's just off the board. They are so far ahead in that division. They're on a 6-game win streak, off a bye, off a win against their out-of-division rival, Kansas City Chiefs. It's just such a letdown game here. It's an NFC opponent. The bye might have halted their 6-game win streak momentum. Niners, just mentioned it with Arizona, still very much alive to win that division as it's super close. They're having a horrible season, 5-6, and still a game away from being right there in the division race. So 7 points, just way too many for a team that still has most of the talent that took them all the way to the Super Bowl last year. Buy high on San Fran, sell low on Buffalo. 7 points, way too many.
I like it, man. Let's talk about the first game that we disagree with. That is going to be Seattle at the New York Jets. Jets are 2-point home dogs. Over-under set at 41.5. Am I the only idiot that's on the Jets here? It feels like I don't know. This is what I'm thinking. The Jets are off a bye. Seattle's off a really close divisional win. It just feels like this could be a letdown spot for Seattle. Having to travel all the way across the country, this is not a play on the Jets. This is just a play that it's a bad spot for Seattle. God, if I have to bet Aaron Rodgers one more time this year, I might just end it all. But, Ethan, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm going to just keep it short. I'm on Seattle, and it's just because I can't back the Jets. I've backed them too many times. I've backed them too many times. Yeah, they have a bye week off 2 losses. It might have helped them, but I'm not fully bought in. I think Rodgers has 1 foot out of the league at this point. And then just to reiterate for a third time, NFC West, everyone's playing tough. Seattle now has the division lead, and they're going to want to keep it. So a lot to play for Seattle, even though they do have to fly across the country for this one. Take the better team here, and I just still think the Jets get a bit of a pass on the line just because Rodgers is their quarterback, even though he's not been good this year.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ben. I am on the Jets as well. It just kind of feels like we're ignoring just the spot for Seattle here, and it seems like the line's just fading the Jets that they've hung it up, and they've very well could. Rodgers was on whatever Pat McAfee show today talking about retirement, talking about teams. So they easily could have just hung it up, but it seems like we're just ignoring the spot for Seattle, and it's just a bad spot traveling all the way across the country in the tight game last week. The Jets off a bye. I hate it, but just the scheduling spot, I got to take New York in this game.
I would say love it like I normally do after a play, but that one's just so gross. I'm just going to move on to the next one. We're going to talk about Pittsburgh heading to Cincinnati. The Bengals are 3-point home favorites, over at 47. I think this is going to throw a lot of people off because Pittsburgh has just been crushing teams. I know they just had a loss to Cleveland, but all right, like Pittsburgh still, I don't think they're leading. I think Baltimore's leading, but they're still right up there, second, really in a hunt for a playoff card or a wild card in the playoffs. Cincinnati's been a really terrible team this year, and they're a field goal favorite. It's a little surprising. Ethan, what are you on here?
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers. And again, I just think the Bengals get a little too much market love still, and they're just not that good. Steelers, on the other hand, I don't think get enough love in the market, and they've been a really good team this year. And earlier 3 weeks ago, I was waiting for Cincy to turn it on. I was waiting for Pittsburgh to fall off, and outside of Pittsburgh's tough loss in the snow on Thursday Night Football, I just really haven't. So I do think it's kind of a bounce back game here. It's not a play that I love. The line is super fishy, which would typically put me on Cincinnati, but I'm chalking up that line to public perception, still thinking the Bengals are a Super Bowl contender when they're probably not even making the playoffs. So slightly on Pittsburgh. Don't love the game.
Yeah, I'm slightly on Cincy, but don't love it. I agree. I kind of think they're similar to I don't know. There's a couple NHL teams that I'm thinking of where the line, they give them a good line just because of what team they are, and they haven't shown anything this year. And since he's Oilers is one of those teams. Yeah, I forget. There's a couple others out there, but since he's very much like this, they're probably better than the record is at 4-7. They've lost every single game by close, except I think one or two. They lost to Philly by 20, but every other game seems like it's been a one possession game. They just can't close it out. And Pittsburgh, obviously, the recency bias, losing to the Browns in a snow game, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna take a shot on Cincy just because I still think they are the better team. And maybe I'm just falling victim to this, to thinking they're good, and maybe they're not. But I'm just not super sold on Pittsburgh, and I know they'll probably figure out a way to stop the Bengals passing attack. But I think since he's got to win one of these close games, one of these divisional games, they're probably dead, but they might be able to pull something out of their ass. I'm not really sure of their possibilities, but I think since he needs this game, I think they win it. But yeah, not in love with it at all.
Yeah, I kind of was misleading with that intro. I thought that was the best intro I could do. I am on Cincy, though, with you, Wyatt. That line's just too weird to me. Why is this team that I believe has 4 wins coming off like back-to-back heartbreaking losses? We saw that with the Baltimore game, high scoring, and we saw it in the Chargers game with the late J.K. Dobbins touchdown. So been a lot of heartbreak, but they've been in it with these good teams. I will take Cincinnati. I just think it's weird that they're a field goal favorite. If field goal dogs makes more sense to me. So we'll see. How about 2 teams I don't like betting? The Colts versus the New England Patriots. Patriots are 2.5-point home dogs. Over-under is set at 42.5. Wyatt, what do we do with this?
We just don't even turn on the TV for this game. We ignore it, but yeah, I'm gonna take a shot on the Patriots again. I honestly think the Patriots are just straight up the better of the team than the Colts, and I know their record's a lot worse. And the Colts, even with AR back, I just don't think they're that good. I love Drake May. I think he's, again, like the second best rookie quarterback, and I think he just continues to do what he's doing. So I'm not sold on Indy at all. I was at the preseason, but AR-15 is a bust, and he might have 1 or 2 games in there. But I don't think is great. I actually love the over in this game. I think these teams are equally shitty enough that they just have a shootout out of nowhere. So that's probably my favorite bet. But for the graphic, I'll take the Patriots on the spread.
Yeah, I'm going to use this one as the puke in the mouth game of the week here.
Guessing I'm going to vomit.
Good idea.
Absolutely disgusting. I probably should have used it for Giants and Dallas. It makes perfect sense. Everyone's going to be in the turkey hangover, probably already puking in their mouth, and then that's just going to get them over the edge. But what can you do? We're going to use this one as well. 20 years ago, great game. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, prime of their careers. This is probably Sunday Night Football, best game of the season, but now it's ass. Yeah, I'm right with Wyatt. I like the over in the game. Might actually get onto that bet. I really do like that. I'm going to lean Indy. Don't know why. I bet Indy over 8.5 or 9.5 wins on the year. God, I hope it was 8.5. Not even close as of right now to hitting that. God, they would have to win out to hit 9.5. I really hope it was 8.5. But yeah, I don't know. They need this win. They're still alive to catch Houston in that division. And I'm still wouldn't be shocked if they somehow sneak up there and catch Houston and end up winning. But yeah, I just still holding on to a little bit of faith on the Colts.
I love the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning that you guys brought them up because like Drake May is like a young underdog, Tom Brady, and then Anthony Richardson and Peyton Manning, they both get gassed after a run. Yeah, I'm on the Colts here. Not a big play. I was on New England. I thought they'd at least keep it competitive against the Dolphins. Last week, they got blown out. I just think if you're going to get blown out by the Dolphins, they don't have to cover a field goal. I haven't took the Colts much this year. I just think this is a game they can win. I don't know how much more I'm going to be on New England this year. Unfortunately, let's see if they can make me eat my words this week. How about the Chargers heading to Atlanta to face the Falcons? Falcons are 2.5-point home dogs. Over-under set at 48. Interesting. I feel like the Chargers or Rams have been home like every week for the past 6 weeks. They're like always on prime time. They're always, I believe we had back-to-back Sunday night, Monday night just recently. Chargers, Rams, both at home. Quick turnaround. Like shout out to those guys getting that field and that stadium ready to go the next day. Absolutely incredible for them. But guys, I've been on like the Chargers all year. I'm not for this game. I'm gonna be on Atlanta here, coming off of a bye. Chargers just had a really tough game where they didn't get fraud checked, but they learned they're not like in the top tier teams. They always play the Chiefs tough, but it's like, how are you gonna do against these other guys? How are you gonna do against Baltimore? They got ran over, man. They got ran over. So I'm gonna be on Atlanta here. I just think with the points too, I think Atlanta might win this one outright. It's kind of gross, but that's kind of my thought process. Wyatt, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm on the Chargers with the circle, but the more I'm thinking about it, I do kind of lean Atlanta. I guess I can make up an excuse to take the Chargers here. But I do like Atlanta quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, I do think the Chargers are the better team. I think Jim's a little upset last week, losing to his brother. That's a tough one to get over. They do have to travel a little ways, but yeah, I just kind of feel like they're hitting their stride. At the beginning of the year, they were really struggling offensively. You know, they lost to Pittsburgh, they lost to a couple other games, and they were all low scoring. But now they're starting to put up some points. We're seeing Vlad McConkey kind of coming out. We thought he was going to be a pretty good stud, but now he's really coming into be one of the better rookie wide receivers there. The running backs are getting it figured out. I do think J.K. is hurt again, but that's just it's death taxes. David Montgomery first touchdown and J.K. Dobbins to be hurt. That's pretty much how the world works. But I mean, they're offensively, they've got it figured out, and Atlanta doesn't play any defense. So that's going to be my one thing that I really like in the Chargers in this game. I think if their offense clicks, they can really put it to Atlanta. But I do think the spot is better for the Falcons. But I'll take the Chargers for the fuck of it, or for the thrill of it. Sorry about that. Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to be on Atlanta with Ben here. I honestly probably my favorite play of the week. The more I'm looking at this, yeah, just the spot for the Chargers is horrible. The Harbaugh game that Jimmy Boy was really putting in a lot of work for. It's tough to say. You go back and look at the Super Bowl from years and years and years ago, but when those brothers were meeting again for the first time since their Super Bowl matchup, it was in his head. He really wanted that win. And then look on deck, they have to go travel over to Kansas City, Sunday Night Football, and play their in-division rival, who they already lost to in a very close game earlier in the season. So tough spot, out-of-conference opponent, all the way across country travel, short week. Terrible spot for the Chargers. And then the Falcons off 2 straight losses on the road. They get a bye week to regroup back at home for the first time since early November.
Dang.
Yeah. Give me the Falcons in that one. No look ahead. They are only 1 game ahead of Tampa in that division. Tampa has Carolina this week. They probably know if we lose this one, we're back to tied. Yeah, give me the Falcons outright.
Man. Let me give my flowers, too, for calling Lad McConkey as a Chargers wide receiver to own this year, man. I told you guys preseason, and that is why every year when the draft guide comes out, you need to buy it. You need to get in on it first week when it's 50% off, right?
Sure as hell isn't Quentin Johnston.
That man
Dude might have dropped
child.
their entire season last night.
It's terrible.
You can't hand that man the ball. You cannot hand him the ball.
Unless he's playing Michigan in the semifinal game. Which is probably the only reason he got drafted. But
And they keep scheming plays for him just because they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to be proven wrong. But it's like, guys, you got to move on. Conkey's your main guy now. You guys missed.
Oh, yeah. He's so good.
One of these days. How about this other AFC South matchup? We have the Houston Texans against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags are 5-point home dogs. Over-under set at 43.5. Ethan, this was a kind of tough one for me. Houston's not looked very good lately. Jacksonville coming off a bye, and they give you a really crap line, too, at the +5.
Yeah, I'm on the Jags, and it's another one I really like. I'll just say it till I'm blue in the face. Don't think Texans are nearly as good as what they've shown and what people might think they are. Yeah, they've only won 2 of their last 6. Yeah, they're struggling. Yes, they are off that loss to the Titans, so they probably come out with some urgency here, and they have a bye on deck. So kind of a decent spot for Houston, but you got to travel to Jacksonville, a team that you already played, and you only beat them by 4 on your home turf. The Jags are off the bye after losing 4 games straight, so if they want to do anything in the remainder of their season, it is probably to spoil Houston's run and, let Indianapolis go take over that division there. So I think this is the biggest game left on the Jags schedule at this point. They're not going to make the playoffs. They have nothing else left to play for. At home, 5 points. I always like taking the 5 or 5.5. And yeah, really just don't think Houston's that good. Like I said earlier, I think Indy does sneak up and at least gives them a run for that division towards the end of the year. So I'll take the Jags plus the points and think they have a shot to win outright.
yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't love it, but I always hate that 5 line too. I don't like taking the favorites on the -5 just for whatever reason. I don't like that number. But yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking, Houston after losing to the Titans last week outright. I think a lot of people are thinking this is a huge bounce back game, divisional game also. And I just think it's a little too overhyped. I think the Jags are going to keep it close, and I'm right there with you. I think the Jags could win this game. I like what you said. This is, the Jags Super Bowl-ish. This is their last big game, like you mentioned, a chance to knock off the number 1 team in their division. I think they get up for it, and I think they get it done, but I'll take them on the +5. Like it quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, I think if I would have looked at your guys' plays before we got on here, I could have been easily swayed to Jacksonville and just done it so we could get another Survivor or Agreement Island pick. Survivor Island. I'm up Ethan's road now.
Yeah, I was going to say. Come on over.
I'm on Houston here, not because it's a big, I think that they get up for it after the Titans loss. I just think that Houston was the better team here, and I just don't have a lot of faith in Jacksonville. That's really all I have. I think DeMeco Ryans is going to have his boys ready to play here, not because of any of the other circumstances. I really don't have a good feeling on this game, so I would listen to these two guys. But that is my 5 cents. How about the Los Angeles Rams headed to New Orleans to face the Saints? Saints are 2.5-point home dogs. Over-under set up 49. Guys, I don't get it. I'm on the Saints. I don't know. A lot of the stuff that I was looking at was predicting the Saints to outright win. And I think that was a little crazy. But I'm going to take the Saints here because like they both have good running games and they both have like semi-decent passing games, and their defenses are pretty similar in my opinion. I don't have a great feeling here. I'm just going to take New Orleans in the points. Wyatt, what are you on?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and I don't have a great reason for this. I'm seeing the Rams are pretty public at 72% of the bets on DraftKings are coming in on the Rams. Line still at 2.5 as of right now. Again, we are recording pretty early this week. But if this doesn't go up to 3, then I really like the Saints. But yeah, just not a huge reason. I'm just betting them because they're not as public as the Rams, obviously. So I think they can get it done. But this is probably a game as of right now I am not going to touch. But Saints for the graphic, don't feel confident about it at all.
Yeah, I am back in the NFC West this week. I am on the Rams to get this done by margin. A little bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Bias here with my Saints under 7.5 wins. Could really use them losing this game, but just don't love the spot as well. I've talked about the buys a couple of times. They were off 2 wins. Well, let's just backtrack. 2 wins to start the year, lost, I think, 7 in a row, and then 2 more wins before their bye week. That bye halted their positive momentum. So just hate that bye week spot for them. Now they have to come back and play the Rams team that I'm actually quite high on. I think they go on to actually win the NFC West, make the playoffs, and I think they're a scary playoff team, but they're fully back healthy with at least Puka and Cooper Kupp, and that offense is just so much different with those 2 guys on the field. Weren't able to get past Philadelphia on Sunday Night Football, but Philly is so much better than New Orleans this year, and yeah, I just think the Rams need every win they can get. I think they're just way better. Don't like the spot for New Orleans, so yeah, even though they're on the road here, I think LA goes into New Orleans and wins it by margin.
Guys, we're going to be ending here on Philly heading to Baltimore. The Ravens are 3-point home favorites. Over under set at 50.5. Ethan, take it away, man. 2 great teams.
Yeah, I'm on Baltimore in this game, and this is going to be a really good game. It's not as of right now, I'm not in love with Baltimore. But yeah, I'm kind of I keep fading the Eagles. I'm kind of just waiting for them to not do super well, and I don't know if it's coming. They do look like a really good team here, which I guess is good because I have a 5 unit on them to win that division. So that's looking better and better by the week. But I don't know. I think the Ravens, I still think they're going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. I'm just very high on them. They have a bye on deck. Pretty tight division race with Pittsburgh at this point. They did get the nice win on Monday Night Football against the Chargers. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just 51% Ravens, 49% Eagles here in Baltimore. Again, I think it's going to be a really great game. For the graphic, give me Baltimore, but it's not a super strong play either way.
Yeah, I kind of like Baltimore quite a bit in this game. Philly, I think, is at an all-time high right now. They're 9-2 on the year. They've won at least 5 in a row. I think they're up to like 7 or 8 games in a row that they've won here. Saquon is amazing, 255 yards last week. Doesn't look like he can be stopped. The Ravens have a terrible defense, and I know the Ravens got a decent win on against the Chargers. But I don't know. I think it's a good spot to bet against Philly here. And like Ethan, I kind of have been doing it a decent while this year, just maybe because of its last year of their fraudulent tendencies. But they are a better team now. But I think this is a good game for Baltimore to win outright. They are they are the sharp team, I do think. And again, it's an AFC versus NFC. It's okay if Philly loses this game when it comes to the NFC rankings and their divisional rankings. So I think this is an okay game for Philly to drop. They're going to drop one of these. I think the Ravens win it heading into the bye week. Like Ethan said, I'm also very high on Baltimore moving forward into the postseason. So I think this is a game for Baltimore to really get their confidence back, roll into a bye, and then prepare for these playoffs. But great game, by far, in my opinion, the best game of the slate. And then in a couple of days, we will have that Green Bay-Detroit game, which I think will be the best game of the year. Little bias there, but love Baltimore. I think Baltimore gets it done by a touchdown.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm on the Philly side here. This game did air. It has been played already. Philly did win. Nick Sirianni ran down the sideline, went straight up to the disabled section, started yelling at the kids in wheelchairs to stand up, you fucks.
You've always had the script.
Always had it, dude. Always had it, man. Yeah, that was just the second craziest thing he did. He really ran to the midfield, pulled down his pants, mooned the entire field, and then took a shit on the logo. So that is like he really lost it. But the Philly Eagles are just going to keep rolling here. I get them with the +3. Sure, why not? Both these teams are good. Philly's defense has been hardening up, kind of like Nick Sirianni whenever he sees anybody he can physically beat in a fight. Baltimore, that defense has just been bad. And so I'm really just going based on these defenses here and the fact that Nick Sirianni's cocaine addiction is getting out of control. All right, guys. Let's talk about our squad ride. First back-to-back losses of the year. Damn it. But still, we've done really, really good this year. Ethan, why don't you let the people know what we're on?
Yeah, we're going to Sunday Night Football. We're going to back the San Francisco 49ers plus the 7 points in prime time. Again, just too many points for that matchup. A team that needs it way more than Buffalo. So give us the full touchdown in Buffalo for the Niners.
Love it. Love it. Wyatt, why don't you start off the big three?
Yeah, I'm going to roll that with 2 Thanksgiving games, which I probably shouldn't do because they're already going to be played.
They know your trustworthiness. Based how you do.
Trustworthy witness. I am doing the Giants on the spread plus 3.5, the Packers on the spread minus 3.5, and I am going to head over to Cincy in an AFC North matchup and take them at the -3 against the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta money line. Hold the points. Don't need them. Atlanta money line.
Love it.
I will go. I'll go the Dolphins Thanksgiving as well, plus the 3, and then I'm gonna go with the LA Rams plus or -3 in New Orleans.
Awesome, man. Oh my God, these picks. All right, I have the Jets plus the 2.5. I'm trusting Rodgers. That's never let anybody down before. Philly plus the 3. Once again, I apologize. I already watched the game, so I am kind of cheating there. And then I will take a play out of the Monday night game. And spoiler alert for my pick, you don't know these two guys yet, but I will be on Denver minus the 5.5. Excuse me, all of a sudden I can't speak anymore. Denver minus the 5.5. Guys, once again, we are donating $1 for every subscription that we get from now until Christmas. So make sure you guys do subscribe and like our channel. Check out bettergreen.com. You see it right beneath me, bettorgreen.com. That is going to have links to all the sports books that we are friends with. So you guys can sign up, get some promos, get some bonuses, get some extra cash, man. It's Christmas time. Get somebody a gift. Win some bets with some of the stuff we gave you guys. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace, guys.
Later, guys.
See you guys.
Flexing on the haters, can't touch my score. Money like Jerry Rice, touchdowns galore. Week after week, always asking for more. Bling on the wrist, got the books on the floor. Listen in, cash out, pages swelling. Plays on the field, see me winning, never dwelling. Flag on Vegas, they know what I'm selling. NFL bets keep the cheesy compelling. Flexing on the haters, can't touch my score. Money like